A sudden shift in focus has swept through the case as investigators refocus attention on the people closest to the missing children. The story has taken twists, sparked public debate, and drawn in thousands of armchair detectives, but the core of the investigation remains grounded in evidence, timelines, and verifiable details. Before we go deeper into what has emerged, viewers should hit the subscribe button and turn on their notification bells to get first-hand updates on this developing story and others like it. From the earliest hours of the disappearance, Martel naturally became a central figure, not because of accusation, but because of proximity. He was inside the home, part of the daily routine, and someone who had regular interaction with the children. In any missing person case, those closest to the scene become the first points of inquiry. Investigators have repeatedly emphasized that this isn't about blame, it's about methodology. You begin with the inner circle, establish clarity, confirm movements, and then widen the lens. Martel's presence in the home made him a necessary starting point, a baseline from which investigators could expand outward. His actions, recollections, and timelines were examined carefully, not to draw conclusions prematurely, but to build a clear picture of the final known hours before the children vanished. To reinforce that picture, the RCMP undertook a deep audit of all adult timelines. That meant combing through bank transactions, pulling detailed phone activity, mapping GPS logs, and aligning every digital breadcrumb with physical accounts. Investigators described this stage as one of the most time-consuming, because every inconsistency, no matter how small, needed to be reconciled. Devices had to be compared against one another. Locations needed verification. Even the absence of activity could carry meaning. This digital cross-checking helped either validate or challenge statements made early on, allowing investigators to move from assumption to certainty. It also allowed them to determine whether any adult had time, opportunity, or unexplained gaps in their movements. Polygraph testing added another layer to the early fact-finding process. 6 tests were administered, with all primary family members reportedly passing. While polygraphs are not definitive proof of truthfulness, they serve as a tool for guiding investigative direction. The results suggested that the core family statements aligned with what investigators expected to hear, at least on a physiological level. The RCMP uses these results cautiously. They are not evidence, and they cannot confirm innocence or guilt. But they can help investigators focus their attention, reduce noise, and avoid pursuing dead ends. Searches of the property revealed only small, puzzling details, a boot print in a torn pink blanket. Neither provided the kind of breakthrough investigators hoped for. The boot print lacked clear attribution, and the blanket, while emotionally significant, did not reveal conclusive information about what happened or where the children might have gone. These fragments painted an incomplete picture, one that demanded broader searches, environmental sweeps, and additional forensic testing to determine whether any of these clues carried real weight. That broader effort quickly grew massive. Investigators processed more than 740 tips and reviewed over 9,300 videos submitted by the public. These came from doorbell cameras, phone footage, dash cams, and security systems, each of them offering a potential glimpse into the hours surrounding the disappearance. The scale alone shows the depth of community engagement, but it also reflects the complexity investigators face. Sorting useful information from noise, identifying overlaps, and matching timestamps to already verified data points. This collection effort expanded the investigation far beyond the home and into the wider region, reinforcing just how meticulous the search has become. Public interest intensified after Martel appeared on the Drunk Turkey Show, where his tone, hesitations, and shifting details raised questions among viewers. Analysts noted that interviews like this carry risks. Ordinary people under extraordinary stress often appear nervous, uncertain, or inconsistent. Yet some of Martel's comments stood out enough to prompt deeper review. He paused at odd moments. His recollections blurred. Parts of the narrative felt rehearsed while others felt improvised. None of this proves guilt, but behavior in a public interview can reveal areas investigators may want to clarify. Analysts later flagged issues around timing, memory gaps, and conflicting descriptions of the children's last movements. Human memory is fallible, especially under pressure, but discrepancies still require investigation. When separate witnesses offer accounts that don't align perfectly, investigators must determine whether the differences come from confusion, stress, or something more meaningful. Clarifying these inconsistencies can help narrow the timeline and identify whether anyone's recollection diverges sharply enough to signal concern. Past school absences and report of illnesses added another dimension to the story, not as accusations but as context. Families under stress sometimes struggle with routines, health issues, financial strain, exhaustion, or overwhelmed caregivers can influence attendant patterns. These absences alone don't indicate wrongdoing. Instead, they offer background information that helps investigators understand the family environment without jumping to conclusions. Physical elements of the home also became subject of discussion. Claims about unlocked doors, back exits, basements, crawl spaces, and potential escape routes surface online. Each of these remains testable through direct examination. Investigators can determine whether a child could realistically open a specific door, how far they could travel on foot, and whether any paths show signs of movement. These tests help eliminate weak theories and reinforce plausible ones. As of now, theories of accidental death or abduction remain just that, hypotheses. Without corroborating evidence, neither can be accepted as fact. Both possibilities require proof, and until investigators uncover verifiable data, there remain points of consideration rather than conclusions. What matters most is a slow, methodical collection of facts, not speculation. The key takeaways from this investigation remain clear. Behavioral patterns in interviews can guide questions, but they cannot determine guilt. Conflicting timelines require verification through digital traces and physical evidence. Prior welfare concerns invite deeper review but do not automatically point toward criminal behavior. Search efforts, including K9 results, must be understood within the limits of terrain, weather, and environmental contamination. And public contributions are most useful when accompanied by verifiable timestamps and metadata that investigators can match with established timelines. This case is far from simple. Yet what stands out is the persistence of investigators and the overwhelming involvement of the community. As the search continues, the priority remains the same: grounding every theory in facts, avoiding assumptions, and uncovering the truth step by step. The wrap-up may be strong, but the story is still unfolding, and until the missing children are found, every detail matters, every lead matters, and every verified truth brings investigators closer to answers that the public, and especially the family, desperately need.